If you are thinking about picking one up, I just want to walk you through my experience, because I have actually been cooking on this thing in normal, everyday situations. Backyard dinners, a couple of park cookouts, and a weekend camping trip where it had to ride in the back and deal with uneven ground and shifting weather. I like barbecue, I like smoked food, but I am not the person who wants to babysit a fire all day. I wanted something that could give me real wood smoke flavor, hold a steady temperature, and still be realistic to travel with. What this grill is really for, in my experience, is the person who wants pellet cooking in a size that can leave the house. I would not buy this expecting to feed a huge group without planning around the space. I would buy it if you usually cook for yourself, a couple friends, or family, and you want something you can take camping or set up on a small patio without it taking over your life. The first thing you notice in person is the size and the weight. It is compact, but it is not light like a tiny tabletop grill. It feels solid when you grab it. I can lift it and load it myself, but I also feel that weight when I am moving it from the garage to the car. Once it is set down, that weight helps. It does not feel flimsy, and it does not shift around when I open the lid or move food around. The legs on mine feel stable, and on dirt and slightly rocky ground it stayed planted. I did not have that annoying wobble you get with some portable setups. Build-wise, it has a straightforward, practical feel. The lid and body do not feel like thin sheet metal that flexes when you touch it. The finish has held up fine so far with normal use. I have bumped it loading it in and out, and I do not see anything that makes me worry about it falling apart. It looks like a working tool, not a decorative backyard showpiece, which is honestly what I prefer. Setup was simple. I did not have to spend an entire afternoon figuring it out. I put it together, checked that everything was seated correctly, added pellets, and ran it. What matters day to day is that it starts predictably. With pellet grills, there is always that short wait while it lights and gets up to temperature. Here, I press power, set the temperature I want, and then I let it do its thing while I prep food. It is not instant heat like propane, but it is consistent once it settles in. In practice, the pellet hopper holds enough for regular cooks. For a normal dinner, I am not thinking about pellets at all. When I did longer smoking, I kept an extra bag nearby because I did not want to run out mid-cook. Pellets also bring a real difference in flavor depending on what you use. I have tried stronger woods for ribs and milder ones for chicken, and the smoke taste is there without me needing to manage logs or charcoal. It is not the same as tending a stick burner, but it is also not the same as oven cooking. You get that outdoor smoke character, and it is consistent from cook to cook. The cooking area is where you feel the portable trade-off. It is enough space for a small group. I have done burgers and hot dogs for a few people without any stress. I fit a couple chickens without struggling. I also did ribs, and I had to be intentional about placement. If you are the person who hosts big gatherings all the time, you are going to be cooking in rounds. For me, that was fine because this grill is mainly for smaller cooks and trips. Temperature control is the whole point of a pellet grill, and this one has been steady for me once it is running. I have used it for low and slow cooking, and I have used it for higher heat grilling. The results have been repeatable. When I smoked a pork shoulder, I could keep it at a low temperature for hours without chasing swings. When I cooked chicken, I could run it hotter and get the skin where I wanted it without burning the outside and leaving the inside behind. I still use an instant read thermometer sometimes because I am careful, but the grill does a lot of the work. There is a heat shield adjustment you can change from the outside. This ended up being more useful than I expected. In real cooking, I often want one area that is a little more direct for finishing and another area that is calmer for holding food or cooking vegetables. I'm not saying it turns it into a dedicated sear station like a blazing charcoal setup, but it does let me manage zones better than I expected for a small pellet grill. The smart part, the Wi-Fi and the app, was something I thought I might ignore. I do not like complicated grill apps and I do not want to troubleshoot my dinner, but here is what happened. I connected it once, and after that it has been reliable for me. I can set the grill temperature on my phone, check the current temperature, and check the meat probe reading without standing next to the grill the whole time. In real life, That means I can sit with friends, clean up the kitchen, or pack camping gear while still keeping an eye on the cook. The probe has been genuinely helpful. I use it most for chicken and thicker cuts where I care about hitting a safe internal temperature without drying things out. I plug it in, put it in the thickest part, and then I watch the number climb in the app. I like that I can set it and then just check occasionally. It reduces that anxious feeling of opening the lid too much and messing with the heat. I tested this in a few realistic situations. One was a basic weeknight, just burgers and vegetables. I wanted a simple cook without drama. It lit, came to temperature, and held it. Cleanup was what I would expect. I brushed the grate while it was still warm and I was done. Another test was ribs, because ribs show you if a grill can hold a low temperature for a long time without me babysitting it. I ran it for hours and checked in through the app while doing other things. The ribs came out evenly cooked, and the smoke flavor was noticeable without being harsh. The camping trip was the most telling. Uneven ground, moving around, and I was using it in a more improvised setup. The legs felt stable and the grill did not feel fragile. What I did have to stay on top of was keeping pellets dry. If you leave pellets exposed to moisture, they can swell and cause problems. So I kept my pellets sealed, and when I knew I would not use the grill for a bit, I did not leave a half-full hopper sitting around forever. Maintenance has been pretty normal. Grease management is something I pay attention to on any grill, and I do not let it build up. Ash and residue are part of pellet cooking, so I make sure I clean it out on a regular schedule. If you are the kind of person who never cleans a grill, you will eventually have issues. If you do basic upkeep, it has been easy to live with. Now, limitations. The main one is capacity. If you want to cook for a crowd, you will hit the wall quickly. The hopper size is also something to consider if you are planning an all-night smoke. For regular use it is fine, but I would not start a long cook without extra pellets ready. Also, it is portable, but you still need to respect the weight. I can move it, but I am not carrying it long distances like a folding chair. Overall, this grill fits a specific kind of use. I reach for it when I want wood smoke flavor with less effort, and when I want a setup I can realistically take with me. The app is not something I use to show off. I use it because it makes cooking easier and less stressful. It lets me be present with people instead of hovering over a grill the whole time. And when I am alone, it lets me multitask without forgetting about the food. If your cooking is mostly small gatherings, weekend trips, camping, tailgates, or just a normal backyard where you do not want a big permanent smoker, this has made sense for me. If you want to cook for a big group every weekend, you will probably want something with a larger cooking area and a larger hopper. I'll leave the details about the GMG Green Mountain Grill's Trek Prime 2.0 WiFi portable wood pellet tailgating camping barbecue smoker grill in the comments for you to check out. See you in the next video.